Hello people, and welcome back to Broken Britain. So, Keir Starmer, was this his sinister plan to keep Labour in power? So I've been thinking about this, right, and I covered in one of my, my very first video about the whole benefit system, and it's really got me thinking because, I've been speaking about it, for a while now, but obviously new to the channel for you guys. And I've been saying about how, the benefit system, I just don't understand why they've not had the logic that I've had in terms of how to, repair the system. And it's just got me thinking, is this their plan all along? Put in the benefit cap, removing that benefit cap to keep them in power. So let me explain what I mean here. Well, there's two ways that this works, right? So first and foremost, you've got to think. I checked this just to make sure, because I wanted to obviously make sure when I'm speaking as accurate as I can. Labour did not put in their manifesto that their aim was to remove the 2-child benefit cap. That was never pledged in their manifesto. And so it makes you wonder, why put it in now? Why do that, right? It wasn't something that they was aiming to do. It's not something that they, originally had said they would set out to do. So why do this now? Well, I think it's simply to buy votes. I think that's the simple answer to this, because think about it. You remove the 2-child cap. Now, for the people who are on benefits, who have more than 2 children, of course, well, are they going to be happy about this? Yeah, they're going to be over the moon. Of course they are, right? And this is why, when you see, this kind of stuff happening, it's the working class who are not happy about it, because for them, this isn't no benefit, right? It's only really going to actually affect us probably more, because we'll probably end up paying for it all in taxes. So they'll tax us in some way, shape or form in different ways to basically pay for all this. And so you've got to think, though, if you look at how Labour have been in power and Keir Starmer, right? Keir Starmer is basically going down as potentially the worst prime minister in history. Like, that's literally what the polls are saying at this point. So let's think about Keir Starmer at the moment, back against the wall, not very popular, not doing a great job. Let's just be honest, he's not doing a great job. And he's thinking of a way where he can potentially try and get votes back and try and get some popularity. Well, the working class are already not happy with him. He's having to keep U-turning on things because he just hasn't got the backbone to stand on what he's doing. And so, he's kind of in a very bad predicament. Well, what's an easy way to get back some votes? The people on benefits, right? Aim for the people on benefits. So if you get people who are obviously on benefits right now and, you hear, okay, they've removed the 2-child cap. For them, that's absolutely incredible news. Of course it is, because now they're going to get more money. They're going to get more benefits. And also the immigration side of things, right? You got to think about this. All these immigrants that are coming to the country that Keir Starmer is not doing a good job of handling. Is it a thing where he's actually hoping that these immigrants will get into the country, become citizens, because they get very good royal treatment once they get here, even though they got here illegally? Is it a thing where he hopes that these people will become, nationals in the end because they will vote for him, right? Because think about it. If you're an immigrant and you get to this country and then you suddenly put in a fancy hotel, you get a brand new phone, you get to live on benefits, you'll get housing, you'll get all these benefits that you would have never have had before. Never in your wildest dreams would you have expected this. And then you hear that there's another party who want to come into power for the next election, and they potentially want to try and get immigrants out, and they want to try and remove the 2-child benefit cap. They want to try and make it more fair for the working people. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to vote against that, right? They're going to vote for Labour. So it's just got me thinking, was this the plan all along? Is this a thing where they knew that they was very unpopular with what they've been doing? And Labour as a party, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think their reputation is truly, truly decimated at this point. I don't think you'll have Labour in power after this for many, many years. The only way I can see it working out is if what they've done has worked, and that's people on benefits or, immigrants voting for Labour because they're getting all of the rewards for this. So don't get me wrong, like, if there's a bigger majority, because make no mistake, the people on benefits and the immigrants, they are going to vote for Labour. They are, because they are getting the royalty treatment. So of course they're going to fight for that. And this is why you won't hear them really complaining about the country, because they get to benefit from it. So The people who you hear complaining right now, it's really the working class, which Labour was supposed to be for. Now, don't get me wrong, I have known that Labour are like, you know, they are big on benefits and stuff like that, but they've always tried to help like the working class people. You know, Conservatives was more like the middle to upper class. And, you know, it's very strange how they've kind of just abandoned the working class and just gone straight to the, you know, the lower class in terms of just straight benefits. And this is why I say I think it's because they've really just messed up in terms of running the country. So the people who are working are just getting the rough end of the stick with all this. We're just getting penalised to no end. We're not happy about it. And I think they know that they've lost us. The working class are not voting for Labour anymore. We're not, because we've had a horrible, horrible ordeal with them in power. And, you know, they've not even done their full term yet. So is this a thing for them where it's, hey, let's let the immigrants come. Let's, you know, remove the 2-child cap. We'll do things where people on benefits are going to love us. That will secure us votes. Because we've lost the working class, that they're not with us no more. They do not like us. So let's get to the other ones that we can get to and really focus on them. Because they will go out and vote in force. Of course they will. Immigrants will. Of course they will. So it just got me thinking. And, you know, the more I start to think about politics, it's a very dirty game. I mean, you know, I guess you guys have probably heard about how Keir has been trying to, like, postpone elections as well. Like midterm elections, like the smaller elections. And that's because he's scared. Absolutely. Like, and that's disgusting because that is not democratic. Like, you know, like realistically, that is a betrayal to the country because you're not letting us have our say. And you know why he's doing it. Yes, he can mask it with his excuses, but we know why he's doing it. So it's just one of these things where I'm starting to look at all this and see the bigger picture. And I'm thinking like maybe this was the real sinister plan all along. And maybe this is the way that they're hoping they will get to stay in power. Because you've got to understand, the people who are benefiting from this, you're not going to hear anything from them. They're going to be quiet. They're not going to say anything. So we see a lot of things like on YouTube and, you know, wherever, like TikTok, whatever social media you're on. You see a lot of uproar. You see a lot of people not happy. But you've got to understand, there are people who are absolutely loving Labour right now. But they're just not going to speak up because they don't need to, right? They can just stay quiet. They can just be quiet and enjoy all the benefits that they're getting. No pun intended. So think about it like that. And that's where you think, okay, we may all be thinking along the same lines of, you know, Labour are doing a terrible job. But what are the other side saying? The ones who are really benefiting? Well, they're not going to say anything, but of course they're going to be very happy. They're going to be very happy. So that's a scary thought because maybe they will actually buy themselves back into power. Very possibly. You know, I'd hope that the numbers are not big enough to make that kind of a difference, but you never know. You never know. So just some food for thought here. It really got me thinking about this. And guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Like, to me, it makes the most sense, to be honest with you, because, you know, some of this stuff, it really does surprise me how much they're catering to people on benefits. It just doesn't really make sense, especially when they know that they've got a budget and try and, you know, make things work on a tight budget. But yeah, they're happy to let these things happen. That's going to make it harder, and all they can do then is tax more people. And it's just like, you know, this isn't fair. Like, where does this make any kind of logical sense? So yeah, it got me thinking, but I'll leave it there, guys. Share your thoughts with me. I'd really like to know what you guys think about this, but I definitely think this is something that we could be on the right lines of. You know, that's my thoughts. Let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.